We're back on Weekend at Effy's, a marvelous trip to England to be recorded for your listening consumption as we go through all the trials and tribulations of what got Effy to this point, of what it means to be listened to out there in the world, and of what it means to keep fighting the punk rock battle. We have to do it. Weekendateffys.com if you want to help us out and join the Patreon, get a bunch of bonus content, extra videos, early episodes, dog stuff, ask questions. There's a lot. Or just go on the Substack, weekendateffys.substack.com. All of my dates, all of my information, all of Peter's recommendations and fun, as well as a few cute pictures for free on the Substack. Thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell your friend about Weekend at Effy's. We need an army out there of people who like to listen to us talk about this life. Weekend at Effy's. We're here. Daffy Duck fell over because I keep knocking the table.
Just knocking the minions, knocking the Daffy.
I'm
That's
trying
Donald,
to...
by the way.
Is it? Oh, yeah, he's the white one. Daffy's the other guy.
Yeah.
Rough. I'm trying to not vape, and we only have this like old-ass 0% terrible vape, but I'm also trying to wait as long as I can to put in a citrus chill.
Yeah.
Because it... for better or for worse, adds to my disinterest of anything. Like it's and I don't want to be disinterested, but I also worry about the lack of nicotine making me go.
You think it's too much of a pacifier? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying it's such an effective pacifier that I know it's going to settle me in too hard.
Right.
So I don't want to settle in too hard yet. I presented a theory recently to you. That part of the reason the chicken was killed was because Bobby was not here. And I think he heard me say that. So whether it's true or not, he now is refusing, like he just did, to listen to me at all when it comes to the backyard.
Yeah.
And he ran away the other day?
So I got home from work and I took the two of them outside, like I normally do.
Right.
And he just took off. Like he got 2 steps out the door and he was all the way in the middle of the road going after a dog.
I got to get him a new AirTag battery.
The other Bobby issue at the moment is his weight again.
All right.
And so
I was looking at him outside. He's been much worse.
He was, he's been much worse, but he wasn't going to do anything to that dog. He just flipped right over and belly up.
Yeah, he wasn't doing anything to the dog, and he probably would have come right back. I've seen him run off before, and he usually comes back. I don't know, he was looking a little slender outside, but maybe I have bebop vision, and he's projecting it onto me.
Yeah.
But he has been, especially I think, like, when Cranberry's over here, like she is now, he doesn't feel like he gets enough attention, because she just requires a little more. So I think he's trying to be a step above both of us, and because of that, he's taking an extraordinary long time outside. But I also am partially like, maybe because he almost got a squirrel today. And the squirrel's not the problem, but the presence of a vicious creature for intruders is. And he was nice enough to the chickens today. We gave him a worm treat, got more worms. But I think he heard me, and I think it went to his head. And I think he thinks we now know we need a Bobby. And maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. This is Weekend at Effy's. It's a podcast. I'm Effy. My job is to go around the world and perform miraculous events for those who come and witness them. I was in England this week, the same time as Braccio, but I missed the Braccio seminar. We've talked about Braccio on the show before, right? The gazer. If
the
you don't
gazer.
know. And he gazes, and I just, every time I see him.
You had the dogs.
They were watching the Braccio stream, yeah. Because if there is healing quality to this creature man staring at you, I would want my dogs to have that if it's available. But yeah, he does the live gazing, and I'm just like, everybody can clown on him, right?
It's pretty good though.
A lot less bumps than I'm taking, and nobody's allowed to touch Braccio. Listen, I'm a tactile person. I'll give you a hug. I love it. Come see me. Don't be scared. But Braccio just walks out on stage for 30 minutes. Doesn't say a word, stares, and then leaves, and they're like, I'll do it again. I think it cured my rheumatoid arthritis. I've definitely cured rheumatoid arthritis by existing. So like on top of that, doing tricks and stunts, I don't know. I think I think I could be Bracho, but maybe I wouldn't. I don't know if I could actually stay still for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And just stare. I'd probably bring something up. I'd be like, guys, have you ever heard of, and I'd be like, damn it, restart, turn off the stream. My favorite job of the Bracho team, though, is guy who introduces Bracho and has to make very calming discussives about things that we cannot promise.
You can't be like, welcome to the stage.
No, and you also have to be like, and we make no claims that anyone has ever been healed of any ailment here, legally speaking. You have to like softly do the small print. And this guy has to do it, and then Bracho comes out. And, you know, you're not supposed to make noise, but I can't imagine not gasping when you look upon Bracho. They gasp when they look upon me. Either way, I had a fun time this weekend. Follow us everywhere on, you know, I think TikTok's in the dumps. I think it's over.
Yeah, and I think it's going to get worse.
We're going to be posting more on Twitter. I'm holding you to that. I know you don't love it, but there's good discussion going on there. And by that, I mean, I
did
bots.
briefly open the app today, and I am glad to see that it's still eating itself.
Oh, yeah, but how much is left to eat, you know?
Well, it's what I'm seeing is the bad actors are getting eaten by other bad actors, and that's at least progress.
Well, if you're on the Patreon, you already heard our movies episode, the bonus episode for just Patreon subscribers, where we talk about things eating themselves with
and
the movie,
good actors.
One battle after another. Yeah, good actors acting out bad actors, eating other bad actors in a revolutionary sense. If you like film, keep up with us. You're getting the episodes early, you're getting a bunch of bonus content, and you're getting my favorite part, which is you get to ask us questions. You can ask Petár questions too. You could ask the dogs questions. I don't know how well that'll go. You can ask me questions. And it's not just that I'll answer them. It's that we're going to answer them for everybody. You can hold me to task. It's like if the Salem witch trials had glam wrestling.
All right, this is a very Effy kind of question.
Okay.
This is from Cherry Legend. Do y'all have a favorite kind of soup? It's getting to be the time of the year where soup is even more perfect than usual. We should have some soup tonight. My local curry shop has the best curry tomato soup ever. That sounds really good.
Yeah.
Also love a good lobster bisque.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of soup. I love large volumes and quantities of things, be it puddings, custards, meat pie. Like, I just liked a lot of something. And with soup, you can get a lot of something.
And if you can put it in a bowl, is that also a bonus? Do you prefer a bowl to a plate?
I think they should give me a carafe, you know? Let me suck out of that thing like it's a drink, like a smoothie, you know? The problem is I can't eat soup out very often because I will always get the largest size soup, which is the one I need, but it ends up being like $38.
Soup in a percolator?
Would I put soup in a percolator? Do you think it could make soup? Like, it would have to be a bouillon through the percolator with sort of you'd be more making a broth.
Yeah. Would you make a broth with the percolator?
Not the one I'm going to use for coffee. I just worry about garlic residue.
True.
I like a garlic in my soup. I've always been a big tomato soup fan, like a lentil soup.
Can you say that again?
What did I say?
I like a garlic in my soup.
I like a little garlic in my soup. What did I say?
No, you're supposed to add a little accent to it.
I like a little garlic in my soup. What can I say? Okay. Is that the accent you were looking for?
No, it wasn't.
What was the accent you were looking for?
An Italian accent.
I don't know how to... I like a pizza, me the papa. What? Like, is that?
Yeah.
Are they going to be offended?
No.
My friend Tom has always been, he's like, we gotta cool the Italians down a little bit.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not saying
it's the one you can get away with.
Yeah. But also people from Spain too, they got to chill.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are white.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are white people. Just because you speak like people who are, from Mexico or from Honduras or wherever the language is spoken due to your fucking conquistadors, y'all are white, okay? That paella could use a little more spice. I'm going to be honest. Somebody's done it better in the Caribbean. Y'all shouldn't have showed up there if you didn't want to get showed out. If this is Iron Chef Worldwide, y'all are losing at your own dishes to places you invaded and culturally ruined. Sorry. You know, you think the best pizza's in Italy? They're like, no, you make a pizza this way. You have just a boring sauce, a little leaves, and maybe a square of cheese. And you're like, well, we've sort of upped that with the ultimate pepperoni stuffed crust. And that pizza's it's better because they didn't dare to dream. They were trapped.
Yeah.
They tried to share their tradition instead of moving it forward and evolving it. And because of that, the winner of Iron Chef World is probably Mexico. They make a lot of good food.
But also, isn't Little Caesars Italian? Isn't that where that's from?
I don't know if you remember what happened to Big Caesar and who killed him. It was Italians, right?
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't he in Italy?
Yeah.
Wasn't the Roman Empire where he led? What's up with his salad? Caesar salad?
Yeah. So
we're talking about soup, though, obviously.
Yeah, but what goes good with the Caesar salad? What soup?
Soup.
What? No, but what soup though?
Like an Italian wedding soup.
Okay.
Would go great with a Caesar salad.
Okay.
You know, maybe even. I don't
think that was the last thing he ate before he died. An Italian wedding soup and a Caesar salad.
Was there a wedding?
I don't know.
Well, he didn't invent the Caesar salad.
March is a good time for
You
weddings.
know who invented the Caesar salad?
Who?
I think it was a Mexican.
Hugo Caesar Chavez?
Probably. I know. I think it was invented in a Mexican restaurant in California.
Yeah, probably.
And once again, we go back to the best soups have the best flavor. I think there are a lot of traditional soup used to be a thing you have to eat because you're poor. You know, it's like add water to the food and make it last longer. But when you're talking about soups now, soups are a choice, right? It's not like we're all having to eat the eternal stew out of the bucket. So I'm kind of open to all soups. I love a cold gazpacho, a little cucumber tomato action. I love a borscht. You had a borscht this year? When was the last time you had borscht?
Not in a long time.
Good for you with the beef and the beets and the heavy stock.
That's of my people too.
It's of your people. You can eat it with other stuff. You don't just have to have borscht.
What do you think the best pairing is? Like I'm interested in, because like a good grilled cheese with the tomato soup, obviously.
Right. Well, is chili a soup?
Chili is this? Oh no, we're not starting this.
We're doing this. We have to. And is a stew a soup?
But
is
what
soup
else?
Just
okay,
an
no.
overarching term?
A chili is, so everyone's going
Am
to
I
say a
ordering
chili
a
is a
Coke in the
chili,
South?
which is, I think that's a bullshit answer. I think a chili is a stew.
A white chili is definitely a stew or a soup. But I think, are we doing the...
No, I think stew and soup are two separate things. And I think it has to do with liquid consistency.
Then I would get rid of soup altogether because it should have... You got to have stuff in it.
Yeah.
I'm not just sucking down liquid. I want some chunks. And I know I said I was sucking down liquid.
Well, I broke my own rule today. What is soup? Like, what's the technical definition of soup?
A mainly liquid meal. That to me.
That's what Wikipedia says. A primarily liquid food.
Is that really what it...
Yeah.
Like, that's the word for word?
Yeah.
That's just me off the dome.
Yeah.
Wow. Do you think I'm anointed by the soup lord?
I think you're a Gemini and you just know things.
There used to be... You remember the soup guy? No soup for you?
Yeah, the soup...
Yeah, you can't say that, but I'm saying he had his own restaurant too that was positive about soup, and he was like, soup for you. But we used to have one of those on campus, and you know, those days in South Carolina when it would get below 60 degrees, those frigid winters, you would need a little soup. And they had great soup. I mean, Pinnacle is going to be your tomato soup and grilled cheese, but that's, I mean, also a part of the Kraft and Campbell's conspiracy to force consumerism. Do you think applesauce is a soup?
No.
No,
that's a
it's a primarily
an
liquid
emulsion,
meal.
right?
I mean, but isn't tomato soup also an emulsion?
What? Oh, fuck. Well, tomatoes are already like an enigma, right? Because they're fruits and vegetables.
Yeah, but like if you followed the same ingredients for tomato soup with apples, what would you get?
Applesauce?
Maybe.
I don't know. I've
Maybe
never
apple
made
soup.
tomato soup from scratch.
Really? Pretty easy.
Okay.
Pretty easy to do.
Okay.
We gotta have
All
some
right.
tomatoes.
Okay. That's it?
Well, I mean, you can. That's the thing is you can add from there. There's many components you would want. Hey, Bebop. You want to go in my room? He's trying me today. There's something in the air with these dogs today. And
There's
whenever
heavy
we record,
cream. There's other stuff.
that's a choice, though. All of that is a choice.
It's a choice?
Yeah. I think, let's be, but I'm also like kind of a detail eraser. Like I just believe adding names to things doesn't make them that much different than what you're doing. You could be like, well, that's a tomato broth and this is a tomato paste and this is a tomato soup and this is a creamy tomato bisque. If you're doing all that, it's all the same thing. We're liquefying tomatoes and we're making them. So it's all soup.
It's all soup to me. Is that what you're saying?
If somebody offered you a plate of the primordial soup, would you eat it?
No.
I had the fish head soup in Japan. Incredible.
Would you would drink the primordial soup?
Oh, 100%. I would drink the glacier water too. Shout out going to Alaska. There's a tweet from Speedball Mike Bailey that's one of my favorites, and it's something, I'm going to paraphrase it. I never understood the appeal of miso soup until I ate it at 8 a.m. on a cold train station in Tokyo. And I just think about that when you bring up soup. So I have to at least mention it here. And they're correct. Speedball's correct.
Yeah.
It's magic. There's good soup everywhere. I love soup. Try making your own soup. You can't. The problem with soup is, it seems like it's a complicated layering of flavors. But the truth of soup is you can't really fuck it up.
Yeah.
Unless you cook all the liquid off, because then you've lost. If anything, you add more broth, add more liquid, keep it going. If you burnt the garlic, you gotta start a new soup. You can't have burnt garlic in the soup. You know that flavor? It's not right.
It's not right.
It's not right.
It's not right.
But it's okay.
Okay, this next question's from Danny. I've discontinued listening to old head podcasts about wrestling and busted open and such, and just doing a Weekend at Effy / Talking Shop / Major Wrestling Figure Pod. I know of the GCW one. Anything wrestling related podcast vibes that aren't up the butt of television wrestling?
I highly recommend people go back in time and listen to Colt Cabana's Art of Wrestling when he was doing he basically was copying kind of the Marin format, but with people in the world of indie wrestling pre his Ring of Honor run. And, they're longer conversations that take place at shows that take place at people's, parts of their career that was before a lot of the bigger things they did. And it's very fascinating into the thought behind wrestling. And I think kind of getting rid of the idea that you need to keep up with wrestling via some of these podcasts, take wrestling in the way you want to. And I've become a person who is, if I'm statistical about wrestling, it's to rub it in someone's face who wants to be statistical. But otherwise, it's very much a fleeting thing to see a match. The match is in that moment. It's in that place. Did it do for the room what they expected it to do? It's not something I need to talk about in a statistic sports sense, but that's just me. So some people love that. But getting away from kind of following that sort of material has made me enjoy wrestling even more, because I'm sort of just taking things in versus having to know every coming and going of every superstar and what's happening backstage and who pushed what and why this match finish had to change. Just watching it and going, hey, that was awesome, or hey, that sucked, or hey, I liked that part, versus having to sort of define it within the annals of wrestling. It's made me enjoy, especially with as much wrestling as I'm taking in anyway. I had to find my way of taking it in. So hopefully you're finding joy, because this is definitely a wrestling podcast about wrestling, but is it? I don't know.
All right. What is the difference between Iron Man and Aluminum Man?
I don't know.
Iron Man stops the bad guys. Aluminum Man just foils their plans.
Okay. In England, they call it aluminium.
Yeah, I do know this.
Why?
Because they're different.
Somebody,
it's advertisement.
Yeah, here's the problem. For the first time.
Thank you, Heather.
Thank you, Heather. Since I've gone to England, and thank you for all the questions. Is the Substack going out? It's going out soon, yeah?
Yeah, once I'm finished.
Awesome. I love it. Check out the Substack, weekendateffys.substack.com. All the updates, all the info. But follow us on Instagram. I think we're getting a little more play over there. Feels good. It's the first time I've gone to England this last weekend where I've been I'm trying to phrase this correctly, because I was not proud to be an American in current America, but I was proud to have sort of the spirit of what I think an American is, which is a little more of an outlaw and a little more of a, that ain't right, let's fix it, than whatever we're dealing with currently. Because I sort of I defended English not being from England anymore, and sort of said, look, y'all had your run, but primary English now is American English, if you want to look at the global scape of things and look at the way we speak. So when you tell me, oh, well, the original English spells it aluminium, I tell you that history is only a thought in your mind and doesn't exist presently, and presently it's aluminum, motherfucker. But also, like, I think not being in America allowed that. Like, if it was in America and someone from England said that, I'd be like, you're right. What have we done? We're terrible people. We'll start spelling it with a U. Color with a U. We'll spell it. It'll be right. But when I was over there and kind of had escaped the grip of all of it around me, when my shoulders get loose a little bit, I was like, you know what? The problem is we're not being Americans, and we're just laying down and letting these idiots roll all over us. And we have to find the spirit of America to want to defend America, right? And so to find the spirit of America, what did I do? I went over to England to see where we came from. Where were we coming from? What were we escaping? I'll tell you what. I don't have any problem with England. What a great place. But I was definitely like, whatever period this is of going through, of having bigger thoughts of sort of like, okay, without this sort of American pressure on my back and sort of revealing this inside of my brain, how do I bring that back here and act with a little more veracity? And also, then we saw one battle after another, and I was like, damn. You know what's crazy, Peter? I can't announce anything until my pending probationary charge ends at May of next year, as long as I don't get arrested, right? Which maybe I got to shut up for a second, and then I can get crazy. But, you know, by then I'll almost be 36. I'll be 35, you know, still for a little bit.
Right, yeah. That's how birthdays work.
Yeah, but, you know, legally in America, you know what else works when you're 35?
What?
You can run for president.
Oh.
So I got to wait. But I think, like, also we may not have elections, and I may have to run for, like, what did they call Mad Max? Did he have a title, or was he just Mad Max? I'm running for Mad Effy. That's what I'm running for. All right, we're going to talk a lot about what we did this week. Peter, how have you been?
I've been well.
We're making positive changes. The fall is here.
Mm-hmm.
We've locked into, I think, a new little time ideation. I enjoyed... Now, in the past, a lot of these big gay brunches have been stressful. And this one was not.
Oh.
Were you stressed out this weekend?
No.
Good. I don't think anybody was. Was it you? Dogs, were you stressed out? No, they're fine. The only stress I had was before I had a lot of money coming in after I got home from England, right? Mm-hmm. And so I sort of told myself, I was like, all right, I'm taking this flight to England pretty late in the day. I definitely have time to MARTA. And then as time moved forward and I was packing and I was doing it, I was like, oh no, I'm going to have to take an Uber. And I opened up. The MARTA costs $250, Peter. The Uber to the airport at 4:00 was $41. No freaking way. Are you kidding me? So with my knee wrapped up, a little in less condition than it is now, because every day a healing moment, I rushed out that door. I said, I'm going to make it. And I certainly did. I not only had to get to the airport, you then have to ride the little, like, go around the whole side of the airport. Mm-hmm. It's a giant bus to get to the international terminal. And I rode it with kind of like, I want to say like a group of businessmen that were all going on a golf trip. And I was already not happy to be traveling, like seeing that. And so when I got to the international terminal, I was like, I'm going to go have a smoke. And then I'm going to go check in. I made it in time. Like, good. You know, you have that rushing for a minute where you have to like not think. And then you finally get your bag checked and you're like, I got 20 minutes. We're good to go. Went outside and I met a German grandmother.
Oh.
And she had been living with her husband in the U.S. Their kids live here. And they were going back to Germany permanently she said, for many reasons. And I said, what are those? And she said, the main one is we've been here almost 7 years. And I've been eating American food, and I had a heart attack, and my doctor said I cannot eat any of the stuff I'm eating anymore. So I'm going to go back to Germany because I feel better when I eat there because they have laws about what kinds of things you can put in food. Mm-hmm. So if you're wondering what you should be eating, it's probably not stuff that America's telling you to eat, okay? Speaking of eating, side note, you grew those beautiful peppers in the garden, mm-hmm. and I said, I tasted one a little bit, right? And I was like, that's not that spicy. So I put all of them in a tin of cornbread that I baked up into muffins, and I ate it with some soup, with some gumbo. Shout out Campbell's Chunky on sale.
Shout out soup.
It is the hottest thing, and you eat more and it keeps getting hotter.
Yeah.
And it is relentless. And my sinuses had been cleared out completely. I was sweating, and I'm going to eat the rest of that cornbread.
As it was hitting you, you just regressed into Southern Taylor, where you might as well have been like slapping a straw hat on the side of the couch over here, because he just kept going, "Ooh, boy, it's getting hotter."
Did I give a little? Oh my God!
Yeah,
my God, this is it's a little
he's
spicy,
just
Peter.
Continuing to shove food into his mouth.
The flavor was so good when you bite it first. Like there's this really good,
it's
sweet,
fantastic.
peppery goodness.
Yeah,
and boy, that back end is sufferably hot.
So when I got mine, I watched how you were suffering, so I just went ahead and made some eggs to go along with it, just to tone it down. And it broke in half when I was transferring it over, and you just went over and looked at it and went, "I think you're being saved." And I went, "All right, well, I'm going to take that as a sign."
I think you're being saved. And I even listen, was I that detailed in my safety check? Probably not. Did I go for it completely and add like 3 whole peppers to the cornbread? Yeah. Was it delicious to have things from our garden?
Yeah.
Of course. Do I need to put them in the cornbread again? No, I bought more cornbread to make regular cornbread to put my brain on cornbread because of how hot it was. We still don't know what kind of peppers they are, but they're delicious. How do you identify a pepper that's just growing that we don't?
I'll ask Barbara, but I don't know.
Does she know?
I mean, she's the one that gave them to us.
Oh, I thought we inherited these from a previous.
I'm having mocktails with our next door neighbor tomorrow.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah.
We're still just on a hello basis. We just say hello and then she moves
Yeah,
on.
it's really, it's
fine.
She's very sweet.
Yes. I think I'm a little bit intimidating.
I'm more her speed
when I'm just outside with no shirt or shoes, carrying my handicapped dog.
Look,
down
she's
the
a
street.
Capricorn. There's a reservedness.
You were trepidatious of me at first as well.
Yeah,
as you should be.
I think we were both trepidatious.
Look
of
what
each
happened.
other.
You were like, hold on, give me one more week to not have my life completely upturned by this creature here. I've said creature twice this episode. What do you think that means? It's Halloween. It is October 1st. We're going to watch some spooky movies coming up. I'm very excited.
Yeah, I put my favorite horror movie on, Gone Girl, today.
It is stressful the whole time.
It's so funny how it stresses you out.
It gets more stressful when she comes back and she's just making decisions.
Oh, that's the best part of the movie. Oh. When it twists and turns, you realize that they're just completely fucked.
It was giving me a palpitation.
So good. It has the end of the movie just like goes weirdly positive, even though like Ben Affleck's life is literally falling down.
The end of the movie is the worst part, where everyone has to settle into their forced reality.
I love it.
It's gross start to finish, and that's why it's an effective film. But we don't see the same things in it, and I think that's beautiful. I think art is beautiful. Oh my gosh, it freaks me out. So you're calling that a scary movie?
For you.
Yeah, it scares the hell out of me. Just see it, he's just suffering. Poor guy. I heard David Fincher paid J-Lo to dump Ben Affleck again so he'd be so good in this movie. Just like on a side-load deal. And you think that's true?
It could be.
It's a rumor, so there's no factual basis. But there doesn't need to be now in this current world. We were talking about peppers. We were talking about you're going on a nice friend date. I think that's beautiful. It was one thing I always worried about, especially living with AJ, where I was like, when I leave town, you have to have your own life. You know, it's like, and so whatever that may be, there's lots of different interesting things happening for Peter now. I love it. And it makes me happy to know that there are, I'm a pretty fun person when I'm there, and then I'm not. And that's, people have to contend with that, because I just got to keep moving forward.
Oh, you'll like this. So I was talking to my astrologer friend, just with all the different signs and planets and everything. You have these keywords that you start to identify, like things that are just easy ways to grasp at an idea that's really big. And so you're always adding new ones. And if you come up with them, they have more of a significant meaning. And so we came up with the new one for Gemini, the mayor.
Yeah, of course.
And just knew immediately what I was talking about when I said the mayor.
You came up with the mayor?
No, I mean, for being for Gemini.
Yeah.
That's a connection. But just, I mean, you are the mayor. And
especially on a weekend like this. Mm-hmm. And I think for the first time, I was really feeling like the mayor. Now, if you wondered what I did on both flights, listen to the Patreon minisode, weekendateffys.com, because I go over 8 films that I watched on the planes and get angry that we don't have access to all of these films. Delta and Virgin Atlantic are being greedy. I will also say Virgin Atlantic, I think their playlist when you're taking off landing is like a Richard Branson, like Listen, I Love Rock. But they started playing the Blue Oyster Cult song, Don't Fear the Reaper, before we were taking off. And a guy, like a few seats down, was like, I don't really need to hear this right now. And I thought that was just incredible timing. We made it to England. Now, this is, I'm always hesitant to sound, I don't want to ever sound like a complainer, okay? But I am going to be making some demands next year to nobody's fault, but my agreeance to get to Liverpool easier, because landing in London after a 9-hour flight and then driving to Liverpool in a car, even if it's with your friends, is so disorienting. I had been in whatever, there's no function of the time zone anymore. It's day and night and everything. And you're just driving through London takes longer than when you're out of London to get to the rest of Liverpool. Like, it's such an insane thing to get through London, and you're not even in the worst of it when you're getting picked up at the airport. Now, we had to go to both airports. Chic was landing. Sunny Kiss was landing. They were all on the Big Gay Brunch UK. Shout out Paul, who had to do all the driving. I was not jealous of Paul. I have no issue with Paul's driving. Great job. I just need to get to Liverpool a little easier. And I'll figure it out. It'll be easy. We're going to make it work because we are going to do it again. I can't stop now. I had the choice in my heart to stop, and I chose not to, and now I don't have that choice anymore. What do they call it? Like bound to the rhythm?
Mm-hmm. Slave to the rhythm.
Well, it's not that serious. Okay. We made it to Liverpool by that evening. And of course, like, Sonny's never been to Liverpool. We're only there every once in a while. It's a very fun city in England. It's a very different vibe than a lot of England. As we've discussed many times on the show, like, I go there a lot. I love it. It's my 5th home. I have a lot of homes. I don't own any of them, but like, who would want to own Earth or space or anything, you know? Who would want to be a citizen of any one nation when we can be earthly citizens bringing joy everywhere? This is how you can tell I've been a make-believe person, like, slightly too long. We were like, we definitely got to go out on the town, check everything out. You know, we're only here one night. We were going to have to go straight back. The flights work out that way. So we're like, we'll go out. But like, after all that driving and travel, it was just like, woo. Yeah. Like, we were maybe out for 2.5 hours and we were like, you want to just like go chill? But this was, you know, it's Sonny's first time. You want to go out, you want to see stuff. We want to go to the gay bars. Critchy was our tour guide. Critchy came and took care of everything for us and took us out on the town. And I still don't know anything Critchy was saying. And I am very proud of Critchy. We have good conversations when I understand it. But the amount of times that night we were all going, what are you saying? Really fascinating. We stayed out a little bit, but then we were all reminded, like, the legal drinking age there is 18, and we were at the gay bar, and me and Sheik and Sonny are like regular age adults, and we were all like, I think this is everybody's like having their first cocktail kind of a night. And by about midnight, we were like, all right, we're good. So we went back, we hung out, watched a little, you know, we watched some films, we chatted. The girls caught up. It's good. It's good to see people, and especially see people like when you have a little more time. Most of the time we're just at the show or arriving that day. So it was nice. We had a little extra time. And the next day it was already time. It's time for the brunch. It's time to do the brunch. They're saying it's the 3rd brunch, but Peter, I'm going to make a controversial take here. We did 2 nights for the 2nd brunch. The first brunch is 1 night. Second brunch is 2 nights. This one's 1 night. That sounds like 4 brunches. Mm-hmm. That sounds like 4 events overall. Mm-hmm. So technically this is number 4. And I think, you know, not that you hold it dear with your life, but you do bring it up. After the PWI rankings dropped and showing up and doing this, I think I was much more receptive to compliments, just because it was like, okay, I'm confirmed by outside sources. I know I'm great. But now when it's confirmed by outside sources, you almost are like more open to hearing compliments. Sometimes when I hear compliments and it's difficult, you're like, I know this part, but I need the compliment to be into action. And that's wrong. Compliments are great. You should always take compliments if you're dealing with struggles or not, or if it's harder than they're perceiving, or if you don't believe the compliment, you just take the compliment. And hopefully I can carry that going forward. But being like, yo, I'm damn good in my industry. I'm leveled for a lot of reasons. And now I'm putting on a show to highlight a ton of LGBTQ British talent. That's pretty incredible. I had to kind of kick back and be like, pretty incredible. Now, granted, it's hard right now to be Effy. It's not an easy time, but that's to be Effy. It's not an easy time for anyone. It's hard right now for everyone. Being hard doesn't make it less necessary to do. So you do it. And this was, I don't know. I had so much fun on this show. We had Sunny Kiss and Shea Monet just killing it. And, a few people came to me and they were like, yo, your attitude of these shows is incredible, because I think they're just used to being on wrestling shows without there's a confidence to knowing what we're going to do is going to be great. You've done it before, we know that you can then spread and be like, what you're doing is going to be great. I'm sure it's going to be awesome. Don't stress out. You know how to do this. Have a good time. Everybody's nerves are eased a little bit. And they were kind of bringing that up. And I was like, you're right. It is a good thing. And I want the show to be good. So I want everybody, to feel as comfortable as possible. Adam Bolt ended up having 2 matches because of some delays. First with Dark Sheik and then winning the scramble. So we had some real shining standout performances, but I had to go back to do the Rainbow Rumble commentary. This is on Fight TV. You can go hear this. I'm on a run. I'm on a commentary run. And is part of that because last night I streamed wrestling commentary for over 3 hours on Twitch. Yeah. It's part of that because weekly for 93 episodes plus minisodes, I've been having conversations that need to be understood by people. Yeah. But it is doing this live commentary, especially recently, the trust in myself to do it. I'm having fun, right? I'm having a good time. I used to not be, especially on commentary, I'd want to speak my part, but I wouldn't want to overstep my boundaries. I'm not a commentator, so let them speak on their parts. And there's an art to the silence of when you speak and when you don't. But also, sometimes I'm the person that needs to say something because I've got the insider scoop. I've got the understanding. I can tell you why they're doing what they're doing. I can tell you what's happened previously, and I can do it with comparisons that make sense. It's not that I'm a teacher, but I'll bring up what I believe about teachers, which is if they're not learning, they're not bad students. You're a bad teacher. And the same with commentary. If they don't understand what's happening, they're not bad audience members. They just have someone not explaining it well. And really, they say wrestling should explain itself. But to add the depth of the timeline of wrestling does exist outside the one match. To give that understanding of character or whatever it may be, it's you have to be good at doing it. You can, if people don't understand what's happening in the match and your commentary isn't helping them, it's your fault. And so I want to go in and do as good of a job as I can, especially Rainbow Rumble. This is a lot of people's debuts. This is a lot of people's first big opportunity. This is some people's returns. It's a complicated match where you're only going to get so much of your stuff in. They're only going to get to see you for so long. So you have to kind of put somebody in this position, I take over myself, to make sure they're getting the shine they get, Also, I did ask the lovely Kiki, our drag host and entertainer, to add another number because the Rainbow Rumble was right before my match. So imagine this. I'm about to go do my main event, hobbling on my leg. But first I need to go call 45 minutes of wrestling commentary before I walk out to my entrance. I was like, can you do a 5-minute number here? Can you give me a second to drink water and put my jacket on? That building was so hot. It was awesome. It was on fire. Energy's crazy. I don't know. It's the stream itself is great, but being in that room, it's insane. And the people that come out, the people that are excited and look forward to that weekend every year, it's just how could I not be the mayor? How could I not be a good mayor? I would be a mayor that would win his reelection campaign at this point, unless I start doing the old like Eric Adams scam everybody system that calls for Zoran Mamdani. Until Zoran Mamdani comes, I'm going to keep being the mayor. You should never. I don't think you should ever.
He just dropped out.
Eric Adams did, yeah, but Sliwa's staying in there just to mess it all up. I hope Cuomo gets 2% and just has to embarrass himself and move to the Adirondacks, but they don't let him stay either. Then he has to go live in a river, and he becomes part fish, reptilian even, with gills. I don't think that's going to happen. Check that on Kashi. See what the odds are on that. Becomes a reptilian water person, Cuomo, after losing the race. You know about Kashi?
Oh, it's the betting?
You can bet on stuff?
Yeah.
Weird stuff? Mm-hmm. That's like, the second I learned you could bet on WWE, I was like, I need to not do this. Because I can pretty much figure it all out. And somebody would get me for... I'm surprised they haven't been. They probably have been insider trading on that. You know, some guy lost all his money betting on The Undertaker when he lost that year against Brock Lesnar. And he was real sad. It happens. But you usually can figure out what's going on. You don't bet on all of it. The main event. The Big Gay Brunch main event. Was an absolute... It was chaos.
Yeah?
Yes. Given the circumstances, sometimes when I have as many queer talents on the show as I can, and like obviously there's even more people I would have loved to include. You got to make choices. You got to make decisions. You got to give people chances. But sometimes they want to see me just like beat up straight people. And for that, I had to call in the big guns. And thank God I called in the big guns. Who comes to be my tag partner, my mystery partner? Now, it's hard to not get to advertise these things. I would love to just advertise it, but I was like, it's going to be a big pop. Mm-hmm. Who does it except Drew Parker in fishnets with glam makeup?
Oh, my God.
Yes. I was like, we got to get you to do the whole shebang. Now, our opponents, TNT champion Tate Mayfairs, who I have dealt with a lot in the past, and his bumbling buffoon of a sidekick, Dr. Darwin, who did a full YMCA entrance and then tried to beat up the YMCA boys, and it came back to bite them in the ass. Those guys tried their best. He was wearing like mesh and pink, and he was like, but I'm like, this is what I'm supposed to do on this show. It's like, pretend to be gay, right? And was doing kind of that whole bit. They tried to get everyone to chant straight white men, and it was met with thunderous boos. We then proceeded to kick their ass. We went insano mode. I shot a confetti cannon up Dr. Darwin's ass.
Wow.
They were spanking, kissing, action. I thought my knee exploded. Had to disappear for a minute. Drew was just getting beat up. Got real weird for a second. I came back. I just had to check it. I wasn't going to abandon my new friend who was saving me on my own gay show. Y'all thought it was over. But sometimes, I mean, if you got to pull me, you got to pull me. But no, not this moment. And we overcame the odds. We never surrendered. We defeated these goofballs in front of a ruckus crowd. And thank you to TNT for hosting the show. I hope we're back even sooner than that, maybe. And I said the next time I go, I'm staying for a few extra days to do some other stuff. There were people asking me when I'm doing a seminar. People ask me why I wasn't on this show. And it's, you know me, I'm quick to say, get me the heck back home. Get me home. I got to get home. But I've also realized if I plan like 2 seconds ahead, we can do some more stuff with the time that I have there if I'm prepared. Mm-hmm. But it requires a little time on my part. And this was a more peaceful weekend than expected after a peaceful weekend of resting. And I didn't know how much I needed that. And that's lovely. And I've got a lot of travel to do this week, but I think it will pay off. We're going to Alaska for the first time. I'm wrestling Chris Wilde there, who is not only a wrestler, but also like a burlesque and cabaret and actor and nightlife performer. Like might be Mr. Anchorage that I'm up against in the gay scene at least. But I will say after the show, God bless Sasha Moth Martina. She took care of me, but we had to go like right back to the airport. And it is exhausting to finish, to have that adrenaline dump, to then be right back in a car, to then get to the airport like too early. And then here's what really got me, okay? I have status with Delta. It's great. It should transfer over. It gives me free bags at least and like comfort seating. in Virgin Atlantic as their partners. I went to check my bag when they finally opened up after hours of being at the airport. And she said, oh, take the elevator. You can use it. Your Sky Priority. Go up. You can use our private security. And then you can go to the lounge. And the elevator didn't work. I was told not to do it. I did get to use, it wasn't the private security, but it was like, because I had pre-check, they give you like a little, it doesn't make sense to me in a foreign country. They're like, you can use the fast track with your pre-check. And I was like, great. So that was okay. And then I went to the lounge and they're like, what did she tell you? I was like, that I can use the lounge. They're like, oh, you can use the other lounge. And then I went to the other lounge. Peter, abandoned ship. There were 12 people in line and it was hot to get into this whatever lounge they were letting the Delta people into. And so I just like abandoned ship and I went to the Boots store, which is like a Walgreens kind of a thing, and got a $1.50 chicken stuffing sandwich and sat in the middle of the airport waiting for my flight. At one point, there was an alternate flight to Atlanta that I thought was my flight. You know, sometimes they change the numbers. It's like participating airlines. And it said 11:05, now scheduled 5:30 p.m. And I went, no. But mine was the 11:15 and it was fine. But I was like, am I just going to have to sit in this airport? I would have gone to do something. I was losing it for a second. And then I checked my Flighty app and they were like, no, you're good. But it is weird over there because you just got to wait in a central like holding pen until 10 minutes before boarding. And then they're like, finally, you can come back. Americans can't queue, though. They would call. And this is a problem in America, too. And like I have tried to find my zen in airports so that I'm not this person because I'm very good at being this person.
Your patches are right there.
We're almost, I'm not going to quell this in this
You said
moment.
you're looking for your zen.
Well, these are velos. They're actually cheaper than the Zens. Okay. When they call the group and you are not called, they say specifically, wait until your group is called. Now, this may be a spoiler to you. Whatever your group is, if you're already there, they're going to let you on the flight. And fun fact, you're still in the same seat. Group 1 is boarding. Everybody goes up. And then you have to just start asking people, what group are you? And they're not the group that's being called. And they're standing in the way. And then they're like, is there any more of this group? And then it's like 2 of us in the back, like trying not to be rude. And also British people are very good at lining up. They call it queuing. But they're also very good at being too polite or like thinking that saying a little snide thing is like good enough. You have to be like, that's not your group, move. But it's all the Americans on this flight that are ass at getting in a line or waiting, and they do it here. But I was like, I'm in England and I'm still dealing with you crusty idiots just standing here. Like, this isn't your group. Get out of the way. But like, also, I'm at the airport. I'm tired. Do I really have to be their mother? Or do I just go like, idiots, and wait? And I just kind of waited. I didn't want to be that guy. I didn't want to wreck my Zen before the flight, my velo, whatever it may be. The whole trip I had my video game vape. This is why I took it as a sign. And I know I have this freaking, this is like years old vape to just pacify on. But I bought this vape on the way out and it had Pac-Man, F-Zero, and Tetris on it. You could play on the side. The battery would go out a lot. And that's part of the problem when I was driving back. I charged it to the airport and it ran out of battery. So I left it on the floor. And then when I left, I was like, I guess we're not going to have a vape on this 10-hour flight. I guess we're just going to deal with that. Now, granted, I had some broken ass Zen pouches that it was mostly just like powder with paper that I was just like, I'll suffer. I have to do something or I'm going to shake the seat and piss everybody off. But I was like, this is a sign. I got to the highest iteration of what a vape could be. All right. It's a Game Boy vape. It has sounds and music and boost mode for the vape. I went past AI vape. Okay. I went past light vape. I never got to headphones vape, but I bet you always know where your headphones are if they're in your vape. But I think it was a sign of like, listen, this has gone as far as it can go. I don't know if I'm going to bend or break. I don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to try to at least use these, not in conjunction with a vape, but just use these because I forget to use them. And then I wonder why I'm itchy and I wake up and I'm confused. And then I put one in because I don't need any more video game vapes in my life. I'm killing the planet. All right. I don't want to do that anymore. Sorry to those people that had to build video game vapes that were all disposable. Disposable Game Boys that get you high on nicotine is a thing in this beautiful future, but like the trade it's a little bit fascist. It's pretty rad. It's pretty bad. But you can play Pac-Man. They have all the levels. It keeps going. And you can pause it. You can vape. Pause it. Unpause it. F220. So yeah, you can see how like as you're listening to this, imagine like, they say, oh, that would kill a Victorian child. I think it would ruin the future if I gave that to a Victorian child. I think they would become some sort of ambassador of evil if they were given a video game vape in the 1800s. What's that? Oh, Pip, it's a video game vape. What's it do? Suck on it for the breath and then play Pac-Man. And he would just start, I don't know. I think he would start great wars after seeing that. What is this device? Where have you come from?
Especially when he can't charge it because there's no electricity, nothing to plug it into.
Oi, you got games on your vape?
And then it is just going to be like God appeared and left.
God appeared, left, and then spit all over you. And then they're going to,
it's definitely going to be a new religion based around this.
If I bring in the product back,
least.
I think the religion's based around it now. Video game vapes. We worship at the throne of DMCA copyright strucken games featured inside of a vape container that's meant to be thrown away. What's Pac-Man supposed to do? Sue? I threw it away. Where's the Pac-Man? It's out of battery. You can't even find it. Terrible flavor. Runs out of battery. I took it. It's a sign of my maturity that I let it go. You know what I mean? Right?
Yeah. So all right. So I'm looking at the video that you sent me.
Yeah.
So just to clarify, it is F22, Pac-Maze, and Tetra Stack.
So it's not F-Zero. It's Tetra Stack. So Tetris isn't a copywritten word? That's a real word?
No, this is not Tetris. This is Tetra.
Tetra.
Like
a tetrahedron.
Stack. Yeah.
Well, how many sides are in a tetrahedron? Doesn't matter. Is that just a type of shape?
Sure.
I took a geometry class once. Whew, I'm not doing that again. England was great. We ate cheeky Nando's. We had fun. All my friends are cool. It's very cool to host a show with your name on it in a foreign country with your friends on there, and y'all kill it. And it's your job. It's actually sick. There's a lot of problems in the world, but I gotta acknowledge live here today on this day. That's pretty sick, dude. Pretty sick little thing you built. There's a lot of suffering around, but you're still building joy. They had joy. It was great.
I love that.
It was great.
Can I have a moment?
Yeah.
Okay. Drew Parker, I am really sorry that I said bad things about your mustache when it was brought up that these words were uttered. I realized that sometimes I can be a dickhead on here, and nothing was meant by it, and it's probably because I can't grow a mustache nearly as nice as yours, so I hope you'll accept my apology.
I told him it was hot. I think that helped, but there is something really funny about not everyone who listens to our podcast tells me all the time. And so to know that like you're a character in many of these people's lives and they're listening to you and they're like wrestling people, like it's such a weird, fun thing that you sort of like are in the mind of wrestlers by existing here, and that they come to me about it and are like Gringo hit me up and was like, you telling the story about them rolling you out with your leg. He goes, I didn't even realize Daddy's Home was playing in the background. And I went back and watched the video, and that wasn't even on purpose. As they're rolling me out with my bum ass leg, I'm depressed as shit. Daddy's Home. He said, it's the funniest thing. So like just getting these moments where like my problem is between brain trauma and ADD, I can't remember everything that's said to me in a weekend. And I need to like start writing down the things that I've heard. But that was funny because Drew came up pretty quick on that and was had real opinions. And I couldn't even like remember the exact phrasing or what happened. I was like, what? People are listening to this. God, we got to be careful, right? We gotta watch out. They hear it all. Oh, what a marvelous time. We're going to do more brunches. I'm going to do more shows. We're going to do more podcasts. We got a lot of stuff coming. This is great. And I'm glad you're all on the journey with me. And if you're new out there, Go watch some Effy matches. Get a vibe. Get a feel for all of it. England. I'm like a mayor of England. It's crazy.